video will have a video title that YouTube is allowing that brings alarm to certain people and joy to others because, cool, the world's coming to an end. I can get away with stuff. Okay, this is a roughly poorly made, as you can tell, graph I made of the brightness level from Betelgeuse. 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 Hey kids, what's up? So anyway, this is, so what's the meme this week? Scientists are baffled again. You know that meme where you say that and that's supposed to mean something? Here we go. What is the most extreme thing you're seeing on this graph? A, something happening recently, or B, something that happened that looked really amazing back in literally just about exactly 2020, that most of you didn't even know happened and nothing happened. Yes, I know someone's going to type in caps lock in the comment section. I understand that. The planet's still here. Okay? All right. So, the meme you might have heard of is that Betelgeuse is going to explode. Okay? So, the upswing in brightness that's gone up from, it says 50%. This is a logarithmic table or whatever. But yeah, there's been an increase from here to here recently. There was also this increase from here to here that's bigger. And over here, there's an increase from here to way the fuck up here. You know what's also bigger than this to this? It's this one to this one that happened in 2019. And this one that happened in 2018. And this one that, do I have to repeat myself? The only time it's been a weak upswell, this small, was back here in 2012. When again, the world didn't come to an end, even though people were predicting the end of the world in 2012. Every single YouTube channel, Facebook page, Facebook group, and honeycomb hideout you got out there that you get information from that tells you the world's coming to an end is always lying. It's not a mistake. No. Neil deGrasse Tyson did not say something that you saw in a YouTube video about something that happened recently. This is a very dramatic drop in intensity. No, I don't have the graph upside down. That's a common problem with this stuff. I actually double-checked that because, yes, light magnitude is done in a way that is counterintuitive and makes me furious. Don't even let me bring up Julian days where they don't put up the year, even though we could just put the year. Just, here's over here is 2023 over here. It hasn't happened yet. And here's the mid-year, and here we are about here. How it's going, how it was going. I mean, it is kind of coinciding to something disastrous on Earth, but that's about it. Betelgeuse is a variable star. Okay, and I asked a prominent scientist, a relative, if he was aware of this sort of thing. He's like, yeah, there was a major change in it back in 2020. Does this mean that it's going to supernova? Okay, again, did it supernova in 2019? Nope. Did it happen in 2018? Nope. Did it happen in 2020 when there was a very good reason for this whiplashing effect to cause it, if you believe that that brightness level has direct correlation? Now, what is this going on here? It was occluded by a mass of dust in space. It takes years to find out what happened after it's happened. So, trust me, if the end of the world happens, I don't think you're going to hear about it from a YouTube channel. So let's move on. Oh God, let me count the ways I want to scream. This is 2008, but to some people it's called 2455000, because that's the number of days since Julius Caesar was born or something. Yes, I know Julian date time makes it where you have a universal timing system from some arbitrary starting point. It's better than AD versus BC. I understand that. No, I don't. I actually think it's complete poppycock. If anything ever, and I mean ever, if you're a scientist, if anything leaks into the public mind that scares the living dog shit out of them, and you put it up in a incomprehensible number like this, I'm sorry, I know people, I'm one of the people that did astronomy at one time. I don't use Julian days unless I have to. When you have to whip out a calculator to find out today's date, when you could just write today's date, you're doing something stupid. Maybe even intentionally. Now, I'm going to bring up something here. A lot of them will relabel this, instead of Betelgeuse, the proper name for the star, because it's not supposed to be called Betelgeuse, according to some paperwork, someplace, because people have opinions. Hey, there are people out there who don't think Pluto is a planet. Tee-hee. So anyway, let's move on. We have records going back a long time. Nothing's being hidden. Every one of these looks like a squiggly line. And this is the 2020 dip that actually happened a little after New Year's. Now, each of these graphs, I don't know if you noticed this, this graph has it dropping down like mid-first quarter or something of 2020. Let's go back a bit. Do you notice how I have it here? Yeah, because even when scientists translate these graphs to show years, they get the date wrong. A lot. This is the best I could do to give you over 10 years of graphs because only one science paper I could find, the one at this archive right down here, actually showed the current year. They always show not the year you're looking at. I'm sorry, but every single scientist out there, if you're not sensitive to the fact that people will take any bit of minutia, any obscure bit of data that's factual, and find a reason somehow, some way, to turn it into an oh my god, the world's coming to an end thing. If you're not cognizant of that, if you're not wary of this kind of thing, you deserve to be called an idiot. And I'm sorry, put the time and date stamps at the top, at the bottom here in Julian date, and put the same graph up here with the time and date stamps as they are. Even though they look arbitrary at that point, at least we'll have a reference point. Most of you watching do not know what 2,452,000 refers to. Well, that was a Tuesday, sometime in 1999. Anyway, let's move on. And again, this is the other set of curves you can get. Yeah, there was a dip and a major upswing, 2 years ago. Kind of quinky-dink. There's always a curve to it. It's got a variability. It's being caused by a dust storm around the star or whatever. Let's move on. Neil deGrasse Tyson has obviously, been the whistleblower this week. This is an archive I did today. Calling all New Yorkers on May 29th. Yeah, this is Twitter. Telling everybody to go out and look at New York's, Stonehenge effect, where they have the sun line up east to west, which annoys people who are trying to get home by cab. On and on and on about it. After sunset, here's behold the bright light in the west, and the same thing everybody else saw. He has not done any kind of whistleblowing thing, but no, he has bloodshot eyes. It's too late. Neil deGrasse Tyson gives serious warning about Betelgeuse star explosion. And of course, when was the video made? Do they tell you the exact time and date stamp in black and white in here when that recording was done? No. Do they put it in here? I'm not talking about in the video that conveyed 16 minutes or 2 hours of somebody streaming trying to get page views. 300,000 views for telling you the world's coming to an end, right? It's happening now. Betelgeuse just exploded, and something terrifying is happening. And Betelgeuse is not at an angle that it can create a gamma ray burst to hit the Earth. It isn't. No need to panic, but at 700 light years, it's the closest star. That means 700 years ago this happened. We're seeing light from 700 years ago? That means it's not happening now. Here's another one with the blood red eyes. Did they actually just flip the picture around? Yeah, they did. Good fucking God. Anyway, again, really? Seriously? For copyright matters. No, there ain't going to be copyright matters. They ain't contacting you. Here we have, I don't know if it's a politician or a preacher, and that's usually a sign that I don't want that person talking to me. I don't know who this is. Anyway, James Webb Telescope just made a terrifying announcement about Betelgeuse exploding. Future Unity is a website, a YouTube channel, and a bunch of other stuff that lies all the time. And they get 100,000 views because you want to be scared. I mean, I like Markiplier's 3 Scary Games. Hey, I'll give you the link to the playlist. That's a better use of your time, 100% more productive. Discovery Zone, same thing. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Betelgeuse exploded, yada, 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 May 31st. Seriously, stop. I'm going to find that image of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oops, we got ourselves a badass here, and I'm going to give him laser eyes because my lasers. It burst. Like, seriously? Anyway. It's on a downward trend and then an upward trend, just like it always is. Has it been more unstable looking? Yeah. Could it blow any day? Sure, why not? But it would have happened 700 years ago. And it's at an angle that would produce nothing that would bother us. And there was a much more dramatic change here. Now, this is me mixing together, actually it's 3 sources, but one of them would not be quiet or work functionally. Here's the graph, supposedly again, and these are each of those individual things all the way back to 1979, and this one goes back to 1996, and it shows each year about the center of it. It's not really in the center; it's obviously off center, but you get the idea. It had a major dip before. It'll do it again. It'll do it again, and it's not the end of the world. And every video is lying to you, saying otherwise. Did they address this back then? Yeah. Did they break the end of the world? Of course they did. Did they change the titles and stuff afterwards so they weren't wrong? Yep. Look up The Great Disappointment. I'll include a Wikipedia link. Now, I'm going to include a link to all of those postings. No, he isn't blowing the whistle on something recently happening or anything that I can find. If he had something that he thought was important, he would have pinned the comment so you'd see it the first thing. If Betelgeuse blew up, they would be really fascinated by it and taking photos. I went looking on the internet. All I found were scaremongers. And that's usually what happens. Anyway, that's it for the video for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. And Betelgeuse is not doing anything, literally anything at all, recently that's unusual compared to that. And it goes down and up. This one's going down and up. It's a lot more active, but that's not a sign of anything you should worry about. Goodbye.